Hey everybody, we are starting Philippians chapter 4. This is the beginning of the end of the book of Philippians. Lord willing, by the end of next week, we'll finish up the book of Philippians. So let's dive right in and let's get started on what God would have for us from the book of Philippians. Paul says this in verse 1, "Therefore, my brothers, whom I love and long for, my joy and crown." Let's pause for a second. Look at how affectionate Paul is towards the Philippian believers. He calls them his joy and crown, the ones whom he loves and longs for. And he says, therefore, so because with that idea of an eternal mindset that we talked about last week, that eternal mindset, with that in mind, stand firm thus in the Lord, my beloved. Again, he uses that phrase, my beloved, a term of endearment. And Paul says, guys, stand firm in the Lord. Literally here in verse 1, he's saying, stand firm, stand united. There's an idea here of unity. Be firm together in Jesus. Be firm. Don't allow outside forces to cause you to sway or to go one way or the next, but stand firm in Christ. Then we get to verse 2. I entreat Euodia and I entreat Syntyche to agree in the Lord. Yes, I ask you also, true companion, help these women who have labored side by side with me in the gospel, together with Clement and the rest of the fellow workers whose names are in the book of life. The first thing here in verse 2, we see Paul ask them to agree in the Lord. Agree in the Lord. He says, there must have been some sort of situation happening here. You have this lady named Euodia and Syntyche, and I'm probably botching their names, but that's as close as I can come. And these two people are at odds with one another, but they didn't always used to be that way. We found out in verse 3 that they actually used to serve side by side together with Clement, with Paul, with other people who were striving towards the gospel. And he's encouraging these two ladies to come back together and to have a gospel impact again. The interesting thing here is the name Euodia. It literally means a sweet fragrance or a prosperous journey. Has a positive note to it. In fact, Syntyche means a pleasant acquaintance. These two ladies are not living up to their names. They are not a prosperous journey when they're at odds with one another. And Syntyche is not being a pleasant acquaintance when she's at odds with Syntyche. So Paul is begging them, agree in the Lord. And in fact, in verse 3, we see the last thing. We see that he calls for help. He says, you, my beloved brother. Look at this. Verse 3. Yes, I ask also you, true companion, to help these women who have labored. He implored that this man step up and help these two women agree again. Let me ask you this. Are you helping to unify together in Jesus? See, it all starts with that first command in verse 1. Stand firm. Stand firm in the Lord. Agree in the Lord. Help build that unity up that comes from having a heavenly mindset. With that heavenly mindset in mind, stand firm in the Lord and agree with one another and help build the unity that needs to be there. The book of 1 Corinthians says that we are made up of men. The body, the family of Christ is kind of like the body of the bridegroom, the body of the bride, in which he says we all have different parts, but we all serve a particular purpose, and together, united, they are one body. So let me ask you this. Are you standing firm in the Lord? And are you agreeing in the Lord those brothers and sisters in which you come in contact with? And last but not least, are you helping to unify? Are you helping to destroy? You have a choice to make. What's that choice going to be? As Paul urges that this issue be resolved and be taken care of. What are you going to be? Hey, we're going to continue through the book of Philippians. We're going to finish chapter 4, and I can't wait to see what God's going to do in the rest of the chapter. I hope that you'll join me. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye, guys.